Okay, hi, I'm Rachel, and this is a self-portrait. This is my earliest work that I'll be showing you. I did this late 2016. It's 60 photos of myself layered on top of each other, and I changed the size of each photo so just my face would be layered on top. And then when it expanded in Photoshop, I had this, something which fell apart and fell together at the same time, something that exposed all its history, something that, it was the way I viewed the world. That's what this image contained. And from there, I made my first series, which is 100 layered photographs from my childhood. My family went through a separation, and I took this piece as a way to, with my mom, to go through all 600 photographs in our basement, digitally document them, and then layer them. So it was something which created acceptance, something which was more than just myself, and it encapsulated my history and my mom's history and our history together. And then 9 months later, I came up with this. The exact same 100 images in the first image are in this image. So in the first image, I saw that as almost a nebula, as the surface of a stone. In this one, it's the layers of the stone on top of each other. So I'm directly exposing all of the history that was embedded within that stone, that history. And from here, I saw my work as something that I can deconstruct and reconstruct, I can learn from. And that changed the way I approached making. It became a part of a lifestyle. It didn't become something that I do. It was part of me. From there, I made Color Memory, which is a series of about 34 photos. And it's ongoing. And they're made out of candid photographs from my phone. And I'd take the average pixel color of that photo, place it on top of the image, and then erase parts of the color so you would see the original image popping through. And for people who are in these images, they can actually tell where the image is, where it was taken, when it was taken, and who, and it is of them. So it's the actual way in which we remember things. I had a fascination with the sky for a long time and just capturing images of the sky. And it was because I didn't want to be on the ground. I wanted to be away. So I took those physical things and I layered them to create something three-dimensional, but at the same time being in a two-dimensional medium. I took them, like this one is at Portal at Day, just at photos of the day layered on top of each other. And Portal at Dawn, just at night, to create these things where I allowed the viewer to almost go into the sky rather than view the sky. Here's an installation shot from Portfolio Day. This painting I made to self-destruct in the same way that my family history had, by layering fast and slow drying mediums. The painting would chemically pull itself apart, and so each experience I had with it is individual in that moment. It's special, it's like a person. So I started to make work which I viewed as a person. I tried to make work which I can connect to the level of I can communicate with it. On the left is a series of sanded gift cards. They were displayed 30 inches high, so table height. These sanded cards, I took away all the print, commercial print, and I just left the handwriting of the giver. It made a new sense of how I viewed the small words people wrote on cards, just like love, Rachel. Like it created some sort of more meaning to how important the small things were and how the unnecessary bits, the remnants in which I saved, I keep them in jars, almost as specimens, as things that once existed. After this, I created a series of drawings, and they'd be hyper-realistic, and then I would erase them. I did this, I kind of approached this as a way of making drawings of things which no longer existed. And then I thought, well, if I were to erase them, then I would be creating objects which no longer existed. I created these things which respected their loss. They commemorated something which no longer existed. And I found the beauty in that, in that even though there's a small moment of time, it's that short moment which makes the beauty. So going off of that, I created graphite erasers, an object which became useless. I melted rubber and mixed powdered graphite with it. And in doing so, the eraser would be non-functional. If you tried to erase something, it would fall apart and it wouldn't make it wouldn't make a mark. So I thought holding these opposites in harmony reflected so much of what living in the world is like. And going back to the erased drawings, this one was a game changer for me. For the detail that I saw when I did erase, you saw my strokes, which I made when actually drawing the drawing. And from there, I created The Sound of Time. And this is my most recent series, and I continue to make them today. They embody everything which I've made before. They're just made out of paper and graphite, a material that is so common, so accessible. And just using the process of me making them, I expose time. I don't ever layer graphite on top of each other, so you're seeing actually me and the time and the process that I put into these drawings. Often they can be seen as objects that are large or small. They contain all of history. They are radiating. I see them as energy. They're very interactive. They reflect. They rely on the viewer to approach them, to view them. And depending on the lighting of the room, it changes, the piece changes completely. Astra Objects is a series of 61 photos layered on top of each other. They're actually stock images, free stock images, so of things that humans are so used to and familiar with. And by layering these things, I hope to create something which was as large as the universe and as small as an atom at the same time. And that every interaction that we have, every part of our being, in our consciousness is part of the universe, and every impact we make is something that exists, no matter how small or large. My most recent full series is Erosion History, which I see as waterfalls. They are also layered photographs, but more recent and to date. And connecting back to the first sediment and layered series, I see this as the series of acceptance of that history, of my history. It's watery road stone. It doesn't make the stone disappear, but it encapsulates it. So it contains all of that history. And then going back to my first piece, I made portraits for my mom and my dad and my brother. And showed them on Portfolio Day in light boxes as energy radiating. As people would walk through my space, they'd have to exit and enter through people, and they would have to enter and exit through themselves, and they would experience my work and experience and connect to me and then take it home, just as you would be today. And I just want to thank these two people for all their time, effort, caring, love. Their energy has made such an impact on my life today, and they have supported me through this whole process. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.